Hello, it's Angela. Welcome. Welcome. What amazing presentations we've had on this summit so far. And thanks for spending the time to hang out with me for a little bit. Have you ever felt isolated, disconnected, stressed, anxiety rising? A lot of the stories in this book are about those moments that we as women have gone through, where we're feeling disconnected. It's so interesting that a culture so connected through social media that more people are feeling this way. I've found that when you pay attention to how you attend to yourself, increases your self-awareness, boosts your mental capabilities, increases your energy, productivity, and another great side effect is that you move easier. A lot of people say how you do one thing is how you do everything. So many people are finding it hard to focus, to find peace after the stressful situation that a lot of us have experienced. People are pushing down the discomfort in their body just to get through the day. You're feeling that your jaw tightens. In fact, just spend a moment to see. Increase the space between your two teeth and allow your jaw to shift side to side. It's hard for me to talk and do that. Release the tension in your jaw. Maybe you find your shoulders by the end of the day have risen up towards your ears and your neck's disappeared. Is that you? Maybe you feel short-tempered. You're yelling at the kids or your partner or just lashing out at people. Does this sound familiar to you? For too long, our culture has been ignoring the signs our body is telling us. Culturally, we're taught to go elsewhere to find someone to fix us. Often we'll go to professionals and we'll feel better for a little while, and then that pain, discomfort, challenge returns. What if all you need to do to move better and feel better is already within you? The future of movement, of truly transformational, embodied movement that can lead to inner peace, calm, resiliency, a feeling of connectedness, is slow with attention to attending to yourself. That's the title of this talk. No, we've been told to work hard, run faster, push harder, work out till it hurts. No pain, no gain, right? Have you heard that term? And what has that led to? It's led to us being disconnected. Burnt out bodies, burnt out minds, burnt out spirit. A lot of us here on this summit are talking about this. We're giving you tools and skills to get through that. So hopefully you've been listening and taking notes and bringing these tools into your life. And that's what I'm going to do today. Now, this is an interactive presentation. Yes, I'm live streaming. I can't really see you, but we're going to be doing a little bit of movement. Now, I have a chair prepared behind me. And you can see that it's a kitchen chair. It's not a really soft chair, so I don't want you to have a lounge or something very soft. It does have a cushioned seat, but I'm able to sit and feel my sit bones. So we'll get to that in a moment. And see, awareness of your movement is key. Just by that little exercise we did before about the jaw, did you notice that your jaw was tight? We don't notice what we don't know. So that's what we're going to be doing. Listen up. So I invite you to get your chair. Let me check the comments. Hard work and no fun. Oh, hi, Deborah. Hi, Chrissy. Yes, this is exciting. Oh, I love it. Yes. So grab your chair. You know, we do a lot of sitting. You know, sitting is the new smoking, right? We do too much sitting and we're not moving enough. So this is a little exercise you can do sitting at your chair. And so when you sit down, who sits like this, right? This is one reason why I actually don't like desk chairs, and you can see that I'm at a standing desk here. So we sit back here and you can notice, look, my hips are, folded, I'm folded. We're so comfortable in this position, this folded position, but it's not helping us sit taller, expand our lungs. So simply by moving yourself to the front of your chair, right? Look at this. Already, I'm sitting on my sit bones and already look at my spine. I'm taller, I'm free. So simply doing just that throughout the day. Well, let's take it a little bit further. What I would like you to do is now, let's move the, can you still hear me, guys? Can you still hear me when I'm back there? New smoking, yeah. All right. Let me know if you can't hear me. I have to scroll down to see the comments. All right, so now all I would like you to do is gently press the feet gently into the floor, which will allow the pelvis to roll. And we go into that curve shape. But allow the spine to follow. So the pelvis tilts, the lower back, the middle back, the ribs. There we go. Just simply do that. Okay? And then lighten the legs. We don't take them off the ground, but we lighten the weight out of it and roll the pelvis forward. And do this lovely undulation through the spine. We're undulating through the spine. Ah, how nice is that? Give it a go. Now, if I could see everyone, I could direct you. Oh, fantastic. Great. You can still hear me. So that's just one small thing you can do. And as you're doing this movement, continue. Hopefully you're continuing this really gentle movement. You don't have to go to the two extremes. You don't have to go all the way forward and all the way back. It's just a simply rolling of the pelvis. Sense your body. What do you notice? How you connect? What side of the sit bone do you feel more? Do you feel one side's heavier than the other? Feel your shoulders. Notice how they come forward and then the chest opens and they move back. Notice your spine. Where in your spine does it curve more? You know, we have this amazing 24 vertebrae of the spine that move in all of these directions. And all we're doing here is simply folding and extending, or flexing and extending as we call it. I'm an ex-dance teacher. And yet we don't really know where we fold the most or where we extend and expand. Perhaps you've done a movement like this in, say, a yoga class, the cat-cow movement. And yet with that, do you know where you fold and bend when you're doing that? Maybe next time you're doing that in a class, you can listen to your body. We teach it very differently in the Feldenkrais method. Your breathing. Is your breathing relaxed and calm and gentle? Who's still with me? So all of this is paying attention to how you attend to yourself. Hence the name, ATTENTTion. What's in your awareness and what is not in your awareness? What are you not attending to? We don't know what we don't know. So a complete self-image is a rare thing. To have complete awareness of what we're doing. There's so much to pay attention to in just that little exercise. Attention is the next level. And I'm going to quote Moshe Feldenkrais, who was my teacher of this method, and you can see the name behind me. Moshe talked about, it's not the movement. The movement is kind of part of it, but it's not the movement. It's how you attend to yourself. How do you pay attention? Because guaranteed, how you pay attention to yourself, there's other areas in your life that you're not paying attention to. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So research tells us that the brain cannot think without movement, without motor function. We cannot move without a brain. They are an inseparable whole. When I say movement is life, it's the very essence of our life. And so many of us are living up here. So many techniques teach us. Simply being more aware of how you move, more attention to how you attend to yourself helps improve your self-awareness, helps you move easier, helps you calm your system. It gets to the root cause of what's going on for you, your nervous system. That's what we're working with here. When you move slowly with attention, it's your nervous system that can attend to yourself and tell your brain, hey, this isn't moving as well as it could. How about we try this? Being curious and open to new ways of moving and being. Science once thought of the body as a machine, motor function with no sensory functioning. And that's where many of the problems about our body is coming from. It's operating under this thinking. We think we need to build strength to fix pain, having a strong core to support the spine. Who still believes that here? Science has now told us that it's about functional movement of the spine. That simple exercise I showed you, moving more through the spine will help release that pain and tension. This idea of core, of having a strong core, was around some studies done in 1991. Do you know how many years ago that was? So many years ago. And we attached to this idea because it's sexy to have a strong flat belly, yes? And the people looked at the body and thought, oh yes, to support one area, then it will support the other. And yes, there was a few people that it helped, but it's no longer, the guy that actually did the studies is trying to let everyone else know, no, it's not the case anymore. Science also once thought that the brain is unchanging. Now, leading neuroscientists are finding the links between the neuromuscular system and how the brain can change. And that's what we're talking about here today. How you move, your nervous system tells the brain. It's a connected whole. Making slow movements and paying attention. This is not public knowledge yet, unless you're a science geek like me and looking into the brain studies and research. In fact, it is quoted by the leading neuroplasticity scientists that Moshe Feldenkrais was a man ahead of his time and still is, because they're only now catching up to this and there's not many studies done. It's this Cartesian reductionist thinking that has us. It's where meditation and mindfulness really miss the importance of movement. So there was this one time when, before I go into that, there was this one time when I was fresh out of my university dance degree, and I took myself to a hip hop gig by myself. I used to do that a lot, young, funky dancer. And I watched these b-boys, break dancers, breakers as they're called. They jumped in the circle and they started doing these crazy moves. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to learn that. And I ended up jumping in the circle and doing my contemporary flowy dance. And they're like, oh, you should come and learn from us. And in learning breaking, I wanted to master the windmill. Now that's the move where your legs are flying in the air, you're rolling around on your shoulders, and your hips have to do this flick, and your legs are swinging. It's one of the power moves of breaking. And me being this young upstart dancer, I'm like, yes, I'm going to get it. And there I was flopping around on the floor like a dead fish, because it is a move to master. It takes around 9 months of continual practice to actually get your legs flying in the air and master this move, right? But I was determined. And at the same time, I met my Feldenkrais teacher, and he said, all right, what are you working on, Angela? And I'm like, okay, showed him my dead fish flopping around move. And he's like, okay, why don't you go slow? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can see that this move requires momentum to get you around. And I was like, all right, well, he's some kind of movement expert, he's been doing it for a while, and okay. So he showed me a few moves to try slowly. And what do you think happened? I was able to master this move very quickly, because going slow, when you pay attention, your nervous system and brain pattern in that movement patterns, knowing where to take that force through your body, even if you're upside down on your shoulders and your legs are flicking around in the air, your body knows that pattern. So when you go fast from going slow, you hit it straight away. That's why another key message I have is move slow to go fast. Yeah, slow coach. So that's a crash course in neuromusculature awareness, how our movements can help us be better, not just in how we move to make our movements easier, but to improve our life in general, our mental health and well-being. And if you've read the Phoenix Rising book, My Story, so that's how I came to the Feldenkrais method. But my story of, I was in this time of struggle, this real challenge. I was left pregnant on my own. There was other career stuff going on for me. Everything was crashing down around me. In fact, at that time, I went to see my Feldenkrais teacher. And he's someone that really knows me. And he could tell just by looking at me, he's like, this could go either way. You are on the edge. I was about to spark flames. Yeah. And just through moving with attention on how I was doing it, how I was moving, breathing lessons, I was able to calm my system. So let's do, there's more comments. I hadn't slid down. Very exciting. Oh, good. Great story. Thanks, Chrissy. So let's do a little breathing lesson now. We still have some time. And what I want you to do is get comfortable. If you like, if you have a piece of carpet, a yoga mat or something, you want to lay down for this little exercise, please, I welcome you. And just, if you're lying down, you can have your knees in standing. It's maybe a little bit more comfortable for you. And I want you to just pay attention to how the breath moves into the body, into the lungs. Don't change anything, although now that I've mentioned breathing, maybe you have changed something. It's hard not to mention something and then have not pay attention or not change it. And take a breath. Feel the breath moving in through the nostrils, into the lungs. Can you feel the breath fill up all around inside of your chest? So you've got the front of you, the sides of you, the back of you, the top and bottom. It's like a box shape. Can you feel it expanding and contracting? Often, most people do not breathe deep enough. We have this shallow breath. So think about expanding all areas in the lungs. And then notice, as you're breathing, there's 4 parts to the breath. There's the in breath, there's a hold, there's an out breath, and there's a hold. So just notice those 4 parts. And next, we want to make those 4 parts equal. So what we're going to do is, I usually just tap my finger, tap, 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 on the floor or on the body somewhere, tap, 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 tap. It's quite a fast action as well. How many taps for the breath in, the hold, the breath out, and hold. Tap, 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 tap. Can you hear my tapping? Maybe not. Maybe if I tap the mic. I won't do that. And take some breaths with this tapping movement. The breath in, hold, the breath out, hold. What this is called is rhythmic breathing, sometimes called box breathing. It's a way to calm yourself. And it's actually what I've discovered Navy SEALs do this practice. So yes, breathing is essential to life. We never stop breathing, and yet we don't pay attention to how we breathe. When you do any kind of meditation or mindfulness practice, they do breath. Often breathing is, they teach us a right way to breathe. In the method Feldenkrais, there are hundreds of breathing lessons, and they're all designed to expand the lung capacity, to oxygenate the body, calm the system, and connect with the nervous system. And often we do movement along with our breath work. So if we were going to combine the 2 practices we're doing today, we can do that. Let's try that. So come back. If you're laying on the ground, you can actually do this in lying, or if you're sitting, you can do it in sitting. So what we want to do is, as we breathe out, we contract. We roll the pelvis back. As we breathe in, we roll forward, expand the chest. And what I like to think about is when I was training as a contemporary professional dancer, this expanding of the chest, I imagine there's a light from my chest. When I'm this way, it's pointing out in front. But what we do is we then take that light towards the ceiling. We don't want to allow the head to drop back. The spine needs to stay in alignment as we open and expand the chest, because there's a lot of nerves back there in the back of the head. So we don't want to drop the head back. It's expanding the chest, opening the chest, breathing in, and rolling the pelvis, breathing out, contracting. So that's 2 ways to bring more calm focus into your body. So let's do a couple more things on the chair, since a lot of us who sits a lot, hands up in the comments. Let me know. I love how there's on the dashboard here, I can do a poll. I can ask questions. It's pretty cool. I won't do that now. Very relaxing. Yes. Yes, Chrissy. And I'd love for you, it's great that we're doing all these amazing things in this summit, but why don't you grab I can't see. Here we go. Grab yourself a post-it note and write on it, breathe. Breathe, or check in, or something. Write on your post-it note, stick it on your computer, put a note in your phone to remember to check in with yourself. Okay? It's no good in just doing these practices if we don't continue these practices. Yes? All in agreement? Yes. All right, let's do a couple more things on the chair to loosen our hips. So one great thing, I love talking hips. I've actually that this is a good time to drop this into the comments here. Copy this. I actually have a couple of free programs paste inside my Movement Online Academy. So Movement Online Academy is built on Mighty Networks. It's free. It's a free community where I share these practices. I've got many programs you can dive into. I've also got a paid subscription. And early next year, I'm going to be launching my premier signature women's program called Create Wow. And that is the link there to sign up to the waitlist if you are interested in joining the waitlist. Okay, great. It's popped up there. So in the Create Wow program, we do breathing, we do hips, we do spine, we do pelvic floor. Who here is struggling with the squeeze and sneeze? We're going to be doing all of that in a 11 weeks, 12-week program called Create Wow. So you can sign up to the wait list. But I encourage you to go into Movement Online Academy and try out some of the videos and audios I have in there. You also get a free podcast. So when you join, I send you a link to subscribe on a podcast so you can pick whatever your favorite podcasting platform is. You can listen to fireside chats, conversations with other movement professionals. I'm adding the free audios that I put into Movement Online Academy. And we're about to run a festival, so a online movement festival with, I also teach online marketing and presentation like I'm doing today. So my online marketing clients are mostly Feldenkrais practitioners or Hannah Somatics. So we're running a festival and sharing their amazing expertise. So you'll hear all about that in the community. When you join, expect a private message from me saying welcome, and I look forward to seeing you over there. Let's go to a little bit of movement again before we wrap this up. So another thing you can do while sitting at the chair is this. Lift your sit bone off the chair. So if you're sitting and you lift your sit bone, how do you lift it? So you're just going to lift one side. Do you lift it and keep the body straight? Is that you? How do you do that? Or do you lift it and curve the body? Okay, just do one side for now. So as you're lifting and curving, let's put the side you're lifting, that hand on the head, and you can curve. I realized I'm a bit sweaty in this top. You can curve and allow the head and shoulder and hip bone to come together. So we've done forward and back, the flexion and extension. Now we're going to allow the ribs on the side to close. I like to think of it as an accordion. You're closing one side and opening the other. And then gently shift that hip joint further forward. So you're moving that whole knee and leg forward. Yeah. So this is something you can do at your desk. If you're getting uncomfortable, do a few undulations through the spine, shift the sit bone around a bit on your chair. Okay. You can even let that sit bone off the side of the chair and let it drop down and up. So you've got this whole movement of the spine and listening in to how does your spine move as you do that. Yeah. Okay, just come to sitting for a moment. in a awareness through movement class, a Feldenkrais lesson, they're usually around 40 minutes to an hour, and we spend this time really listening in. So when you're doing these movements, you can close your eyes and feel through the spine, through the ribs. What is your breath doing? And just check in with yourself. Let's do the other side. So lifting, placing it down. Lifting, placing it down. Often we do our lessons on the floor. So when you lie down on the floor, you take gravity out of your body. And I don't actually show you. You're not watching me and mimicking me. You're actually exploring in your own body. So let's take that sit bone off the side and allow the body to open the ribs, lift the hip and close the ribs. Yeah. Okay. Now another fun one, I love teaching this stuff, is now that we've done the forward and back and side, why don't we make a little circle out of it? So begin by going back and then take your weight to the side and come forward and go to the side and come back. You can go as slowly, effortlessly, and you can allow the spine and ribs to undulate with the movement. And then go the other way. Allow the chest to open at the front, the ribs to fold on the side, folding at the back. How is that for everybody? Let me know. So simple, love it. Yes, it is so simple and yet it changes. It just these simple movements, if you pay attention. Now, awareness, self-awareness is a skill, okay? It does take time to learn this, to really feel and notice and sense the differences in our bodies, because often we're so disconnected. And you know, a lot of us here are on this path, this journey to discover more, to be more, to open our worlds up. And yet often I see there's still that disconnect. So be kind, be gentle with yourself, really pay attention and understand that you're on this journey. Yes, going to use them at desk, great. I'm glad you're going to use them at the desk. There's so many more. I'm probably one of the presenters in the program is going to be doing a sitting class, and in the festival, online movement festival. Another one's going to be doing posture. Let's just end with one more. Another great one is even just simply taking your leg off, right? Holding on to you can hold on to the front of the knee and allowing that femur bone to sit into the hip. And they can draw a little circle, yeah? Because our hips get so tight, right? Hips get so tight. Now other leg, few circles. Lifting now turning, holding onto the front part of the leg and shifting it side to side, yeah? Yeah. A little bit of chair movement. Yeah. So hopefully that breaks up your day a bit. Again, I want to see your post-it notes, ladies and gentlemen, if they're here. Post-it note on your computer to remind you to check in with yourself, even if it's simply taking a breath, doing a few rolls. All right, the best thing and the most important is to actually get up and walk around after you've been working for some time. It's so well known that just that. I like to actually set my timer for 45 minutes. And that 45 minutes is focus. And then I get up, I walk around, I grab some water, I do a little bit of movement. Actually, one of my class on Monday morning with my clients, we did this exercise, and my client said, oh, this is fantastic for after sitting all day at the computer yesterday. My lower back and my hips were so tight. And we did this little movement sequence for the 45-minute class. She felt amazing. So hopefully you have an amazing day. Make sure you watch the rest of the summit. Go back and watch the replays if you've missed some. I really love being able to present to you all. Come and join me in my community. I would love to see you over there and share more with you. And I'm going to take off, have some lunch, and get back to planning the festival. Thanks for watching, guys.